And now, from 12 Studios, this is News 12 Now.
Hello and welcome to News 12 Now. We're very excited to have you with us today. It's Thursday, July 18th. I'm Robin Key, and it has been a hard week for Texoma. Many lives were lost in several different incidents across our area. Let's go over the stories you need to know right now. This weekend, 2 people were struck by lightning while on Lake Texoma, according to KXII out of Gainesville. One of the victims, 32-year-old Vanessa Schimmer of Cook County, died from her injuries as a result of being struck. She was initially transported to Marshall County Hospital in critical condition. The strike happened near Party Island in Kingston. In a Facebook post, the mother of the victims said that she was taken to a local hospital and that she is doing okay. A man who drowned on Lake Texoma was found on shore Sunday morning by OHP. 40-year-old Billy Cooper is said to have gone out fishing on a kayak Saturday. Cooper was then found dead on shore just outside of Little City in Marshall County. He was transported to a local funeral home. OHP did not comment on how the drowning happened. A crash in Murray County Saturday killed a young woman and boy. Oklahoma Highway Patrol says 55-year-old Donna Beaver was driving on Highway 77 and Sooner Rock Road near Davis. When Beaver left the subway and struck a tree, Beaver was pronounced dead at the scene. There were 2 passengers on the vehicle, both children, and one of them, a young boy, was also pronounced dead at the scene. The other passenger, a young girl, was transported to OU Medical by air to treat leg, arm, and burn injuries. A single vehicle accident in Bryan County Saturday night killed a woman and injured the driver. OHP says 33-year-old Billy Hops was driving on Highway 70 about 8 miles outside of Durant when he left the roadway. The vehicle began rolling over before stopping on the driver's side. The passenger, 24-year-old Phyllis Eggenberg, was killed in the accident. Hobbs had minor injuries from the crash, but he was not taken to the hospital. And finally, a man was killed after being hit by a car when he was walking across Highway 70 near Meade Friday night. 64-year-old Paul Snyder was walking south across the highway just before 9:30 when he was hit by 21-year-old Gavin Manusum, who was driving east. Snyder was killed on impact. Manusum was then swerved into incoming traffic and hit a minivan driven by 58-year-old Glenn Kyan. Manusum's car went off the road and rolled over onto its roof, and he was transported to a local hospital with minor injuries. Kyan and his 3 passengers were not injured in the crash. Yeah. Unfortunately, it does not stop there. A man was found dead in a field in Love County, believed to have been a person who was reported missing just the day before. Love County Sheriff Andy Cumberledge says deputies responded to a call last Saturday that a man had been found dead in a pasture with no identification. They weren't able to identify him at the scene, but deputies were certain that this was the same man that had been reported missing by his nephew just a day prior. Sheriff Cumberledge says that an autopsy is underway before they launch into an investigation to find out if the death was foul play or not. The Paris Police Department is warning residents about a suspicious man, so if you're in the area, make sure to pay attention. They say the man seen on your screen here tried to get homeowners to open their doors by knocking and holding papers as though he had a delivery. Earlier in June, the same man, posed as a U.S. postal worker, tried to get homeowners to open their doors by saying that he had mail he needed to discuss. On both occasions, he was driving a black Toyota Camry. Police aren't sure of the motive, but they are working to identify him. If this person knocks on your door, do not answer. Call 911. Oklahoma State Superintendent Ryan Walters has responded to allegations of watching videos of naked women during a board education meeting. In a statement Sunday, Walters said, quote, "It's no surprise to face politically motivated attacks. Any suggestion that a device of mine was used to stream inappropriate content on the television set is categorically false. I have no knowledge of what was on the TV screen during the alleged incident, and there is absolutely no truth to any implication of wrongdoing," unquote. An investigation by the Oklahoma State Senate is currently underway. We'll continue to follow the story as it unfolds. TxDOT has launched its Be Safe, Drive Smart campaign to prevent speeding deaths in Texas. They say speeding is the #1 factor in Texas car crashes. Nearly 160,000 speed-related crashes occurred in 2024, with more than 1,400 deaths reported. 46 were in our viewing area. TxDOT advises leaving plenty of time to get to your destination without speeding. That may save lives, including your own. Now, we actually were able to get a little clip with some advice for drivers, so here that is.
Speeding is not an accident, it's a choice, and it can be a deadly one. This message isn't just for the reckless speeders with a lead foot. Driving even a little over the speed limit can make a crash both more likely and more dangerous. Speeding cuts down on your reaction time and increases the distance you'll need to avoid a crash.
Pay attention to speed limits and warning signs. Now, the Kalispberg Volunteer Fire Department is reminding us that they don't just save cats from trees. After responding to a call just after noon on Sunday, the Cook County Sheriff's Office notified them of a, quote, urgent feline emergency, unquote. Limpy, the cat, had her head stuck in a fender bracket. Sorry, I'm not very good with cars. Fender bracket of a car. Captain Jimmy McMains used his tools to carefully take apart some of the car, and they were able to free Limpy, who is caring once again for her kittens. Now, Atoka County is preparing for school bond elections on Monday, August 12th. Coleman Public School ISD UG voters will decide on a $1.4 million bond proposal with the objective of improving school conditions and repairing buildings across the school system. If this is passed, it would take 10 years to repay through property taxes. Now, 3 weeks after the terrible floods in Kerrville, an Ardmore group is on the ground helping. The Gideon Rescue Company, expert search and rescue in disaster areas, responded to the flooding. The company tackles the physical and emotional nature of the job. Their team leader, Dylan McWilliams, spoke about how their mission is a little bit different.
It's so much more in depth than just like sending the dogs out or jumping in the water or digging through the rubble. You know, it's like how can we help people long term as well, not just right now.
The team members say efforts to help don't have to be complicated. They can be as simple as giving water or a hug. Now, we will be right back with your national and international headlines. Stay tuned to learn more about another Department of Justice whistleblower coming out. And then after that, we'll be bringing it back to Texoma for our community corner. Now, don't swipe away. Welcome back. Now we're moving on to our regional, national, and international news. Authorities in Traverse City, Michigan have released the name of the man who allegedly went on a rampage at a Walmart store on Saturday, stabbing 11 people. The suspect, identified as 42-year-old Bradford James Gilley of Afron, Texas, has been charged with 1 count of terrorism and 11 counts of assault with the intent to murder. Officials say Gilley has a history of assaults and violations, including controlled substances. The weapon he allegedly used was described as a 3.5-inch folding knife. Videos show passengers evacuating from inside an American airline flight that caught fire Saturday. A passenger, Shay Armistead, recorded the evacuation from inside the Boeing 737 MAX 8. Now, we have some of her video here, so let's watch that.
Look, it's shaking. The plane just caught fire. The plane just caught fire. We're evacuating the plane. Oh my god. Oh my god, there's fire.
Passengers escaped the plane by using an emergency slide, with some taking a tumble at the bottom of it. According to the Federal Aviation Administration, the plane reported a possible landing gear incident while departing. Firefighters arrived on the scene and put the blaze out. 5 passengers were looked at for possible injuries, and 1 was taken to a medical facility. The FAA says it is investigating the incident. The Department of Justice has released the outcome of a 5-year effort, Operation Grayskull. They call it a major victory against online child exploitation. They say 4 of the dark web's most egregious child porn websites have been taken down, and at least 18 web leaders and users have been arrested and convicted under the operation, including men in Texas and Oklahoma. This announcement comes right after a second Justice Department whistleblower came forward against federal judicial nominee Ellie Bove with information that includes the DOJ. Judicial nominee Emmy Bove is President Trump's former lawyer, and if the full Senate confirms Bove, he will hold a lifetime appointment to the bench for the 3rd U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. Both of the whistleblowers accuse Bove of suggesting that the Department of Justice's lawyers should defy and ignore court rulings in a deportation case. The previous whistleblower told the DOJ that Bove tried to mislead federal judges during the Trump administration's deportation efforts last spring. Bove denied any wrongdoing. A final Senate vote is expected soon. 25 tons of humanitarian aid has been dropped into Gaza. UAE and Jordan carried out the first airdrops of humanitarian aid into Gaza in months on Sunday. Here you can see the supplies being dropped and then the Gazians scrambling to get some of the supplies. 1 Emirati and 2 Jordanian military planes took off from the Jordan to deliver food and basic necessities to several locations in the Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, the Israeli military began limited pauses in fighting in 3 populated areas of Gaza for 10 hours a day on Sunday. Israel has restricted aid to Gaza's population because it says Hamas siphons it off without providing evidence. Much of the population now relies on aid. Then, for our sports fans out there, England has been crowned champion of Europe for the 2nd time, all after defeating Spain 3-1 on penalties in the Women's Euro 2025 final. I'm not really a sports person, but that seemed cool. I know that soccer is a really big deal in Europe, so I hope it was a good game. Now, don't go away. We'll be right back at home in Texoma as it is time for our community corner. Don't exit out just now. Hi, welcome back. Now it is time for our community corner, aka what's been going on in Texoma in our community. So yeah, feel good, but also just the fun, the interesting, what's been happening. Now, I'm sure that a lot of you already know this, but after months of filling the downtown streets with music, the Denison Summer Concert Series has come to an end. On Friday night, Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame inductees The Great Divide brought an end to Music on Main for this year. The concert series saw Grammy winners and local talent alike grace the summer stage. Construction downtown made it more like Music on Main Street, adjacent this year, as shows moved over to Forest Park, but it doesn't matter, they didn't miss a beat.
Everything went great. People love having it here. We got lots of shade. We got the vendors, our downtown businesses, families coming out. We got the splash pad next to it, so it's been a great year.
It's great. We had great barbecue and great seats. We're getting in the shade, so we're enjoying it.
In the end, the reviews speak for themselves. Music on Main will be back even bigger and better next summer. With summer ending, it's almost time to head back to school. Kids might not be very excited, but parents might be. Now, students in Colbert were packing up this weekend preparing for their big return. More than 70 kids showed up to the Colbert City Park for free backpacks, school supplies, snow cones, and more. This was the 4th annual Back to School Bash hosted by the Cartwright Community Resource Center, and it helped kids not only from Colbert ISD, but the surrounding school districts too. If you still need supplies, Durant has an event this Saturday at 9 a.m. Also at the Cartwright Community Center, several graduates were walking the stage to get their GEDs. Now, 9 students ranging from ages 19 to 60 took classes all throughout the year on the Ramp to Success program to receive their high school equivalency diploma, all for free. The program is funded by the Al Drummond Legacy Foundation and the Carlton Watts Rural Oklahoma Foundation. Congratulations to this year's grads. New classes start on October 6th. The Choctaw Cultural Center celebrated 4 years of open doors on Saturday. They held an art market for Choctaw artists to sell their goods, and there were cultural demonstrations and competitions throughout the day. The celebration also marked the official opening of a new exhibit focused on the natural resources that have played an important role in the Choctaw Nation's history and their fight for sovereignty.
And I wanted to impact people in their emotions. I wanted them to feel what we feel, but not to be sad and pity us, but to want to stand beside us and say, hey, we're here for you, we're a community, and that's what this place is for.
The exhibit will be open through April, and you can see it Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Throughout the construction in Denison, they found bits and pieces of the past. Old railroad tracks from the interurban railroad that ran through what we now know as Denison's Main Street. As they uncover them, people around Denison are speculating and saying what they think the city should do with the artifacts.
I would say go ahead and take them out. The new street's raised up higher than that other one. But also I think it could be a really neat opportunity to preserve some history or even reincorporate it into different pieces of artwork that you could have around town.
Main Street Director Donna Dow says she doesn't know yet what will be done with the rail pieces, but she hopes that they'll preserve them. Now it's time for another episode of Brady's Barbecue Quest, and this time he's on Main Street in Marietta.
Oh, hey everyone, Brady Blackstock here, sitting on the northeast corner of 3rd and Main Street in downtown Marietta. I'm about ready to head inside to Bruce's Rollin' Smoke Barbecue. It's the next stop on Brady's Barbecue Quest.
Now, if this looks good to you, you'll want to get there early. We're told Bruce's Rolling Smoke Barbecue often closes because they sell out. So make sure you get there bright and early. Now, to see Brady's full review, you can head over to our Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok. We have lots of exclusive content there that you'll never see on air, so make sure to check it out. Now, that's actually all for this News 12 Now. Make sure to join us here on Tuesday, same time, same place. And then make sure to tune in to Channel 12 later this afternoon for the 4, 5, and 6 to stay updated with everything going on in Texoma land. Now, did you feel like any of our stories could use a bit of a deeper dive? Check out our website, KXI.com, for more information on all of our stories. Also, like I just said, make sure that you're following our Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. There you'll find exclusive content, constant updates, and our past stories. But for now, see you tomorrow, Texoma.